Okay, for this assignment, we're going to learn how to do kind of an infinity idea using a picture frame. So I'm going to share this image with you on a completed picture so you can kind of get an idea of it. It's going to look something something like this, where you're going to repeat the same thing inside of this frame. So let's go ahead, and first thing you need to do is you need to take a picture. But I'm going to go ahead and warn you, do not take a picture where your fingers wrap around the edge. It's possible to do it, but it's going to make it more challenging for you. Instead, I want you to take a picture, and I'll show you right here as I pull up Pixlr, where your fingers are held to the outside of the frame. That'll make it a lot easier for you. So let's go ahead and open this up so you can see how I did it. So here you go. You can see that I held it so that this line is complete right here, and I don't have to worry about wrapping my fingers around the edges. So try to find something similar like this that you can shoot through in any kind of way. Make sure it's as square as possible, because if it's a different shape, it's possible to do it as well, but it's just going to be more challenging. So you can empty a picture frame and do it there, and you can hold it out further if you need to make yourself look smaller. See if you can have somebody help you make that. Okay, so what we're going to learn to do is intentionally I changed the proportions and I twisted this a little bit just so that we can learn some new tools, such as scaling and rotating as necessary. So let's go ahead, move myself out of the way. The first thing you want to do is you come in, you get this is your background image. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to duplicate. So now I've got two copies right here, got the background and background copy. I'm going to rename this as transparent layer. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this background one complete just to have it there. And I'm going to create this as my transparent layer. What that means is I'm going to get rid of this face, and this is going to be the layer where nothing's going to be on the inside. So I'm going to start with my lasso tool, and I'm going to choose the polygon shape here because I have straight lines instead of the free form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click inside of this frame, and I'm going to get rid of that image on the inside because I'm going to be replacing that image. Okay, so and then just delete or backspace. Now, when you delete or backspace, notice nothing goes away. But if you look over here, my transparent layer, you can see that it did go away. The reason is because this background image is still here. If I were to hide that, there you go. So I've hidden this full image, and that all I've got is this transparent layer inside. So now what I want to do is I want to place a new image inside of here that's going to be slightly smaller, right? Because I'm going to go back into his face. So how do I do that? Well, I've got this background image. Why don't I just go ahead and right click and copy that? Okay. And I'm going to call this layer 1. Okay, so I've got this layer. You can't see it right now because I haven't clicked it in. But what I want to do is I want to take this layer and I am going to make it smaller. You can't see it right now because I have it off. So let's go ahead and deselect because I don't want to have any pixels selected. I just want to minimize this one right here. So I just go over to this move tool here and notice these will show up. Aha, there we go. Whoops. Make sure I'm in the right layer. I'm not in the transparent. I need to be in layer 1. Oh, there we go. Layer 1. Yes, it keeps going back to transparent layer. Okay, so if you needed to and you wanted it to kind of twist or anything like that, you can start to rotate your image if you'd like to. So let's find the rotate tool to see if you want to be able to do that. This is kind of, you don't need to do it, but you can do it. And all you have to do is come up here. Oops. And just drag this little circle this way and that way to be able to fit it into that space if you want to twist it slightly. Okay, now I'm going to put this back where it belongs. As you can see, I've now got this image inside of it. Now, it does not line up perfectly because I twisted it. This is optional if you want to twist it or not. This is, you decide if you want to do that. If you don't like that, you can just go back to it and it can go straight back in just like that. I kind of like it straight back in, so I'm going to keep it up with that. I did want to share with you too, when you're coming to adjusting your size, this is really important because this is one of my biggest pet peeves is when people will alter the size of a picture and they will adjust the size and then squish the picture so it's narrow or squish the picture so it's really wide. The aspect ratio is fixed. It's automatically set to fixed. If you do it on free, that means you can squish this picture like that, and that looks horrific. Please don't ever do that. Don't ever mess with the proportions of a picture unless it's for an extreme purpose, which I can't really figure out why in photography you would ever need to do that. So it's always important to make sure you're on fixed. So if you're on fixed, it should work. So what do you think I should do next? I should probably go to this layer, the layer 1, right? And I want to get rid of that inside part again. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again. So I'm on layer 1. I'm going to go to my lasso tool. And I'm going to use my polygon. And I'm going to repeat here. I'm in layer 1. I'm going to delete. I got rid of it. So now I go back to my background and I'm going to copy it again. Duplicate. I'm going to rename this layer 2. This will help me stay organized if I rename it. I really like renaming things. I'm going to set it in front so you can see it. It's way too big right now. In layer 2, I'm going to go ahead and select none. And I'm going to minimize it. So we're going to go inside. Now notice I need to get it behind layer 1. There we go. I think that looks good. And I'm going to keep going because that's what we do. So I'm on layer 2. I need to cut it out. Go to my lasso tool. Oops. Layer 2. Isn't that working? Delete. Okay, go back to my background image and I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay, and it's not visible right now. It's way too big, right? So I need to resize that. So make sure you're on the right size and let's resize it. Make sure you select, deselect. Now let's resize her. Whoops. Why does it when I do that every now and then? Thinks it knows what I want. Make sure I relabel this layer 3 so I don't get confused. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm just going to go ahead and move it up here so it's easier to move. Make it smaller. Make sure it fits inside that space. And then move it back where it belongs. So I can go a little bit smaller. I don't know why every now and then it like wants to go to the larger image. Okay, so I want you to do at least 3 layers, just like I did. You can do more if you want to challenge yourself, and then go ahead and submit this in.